It seems as though during the summer, the weather during an unsettled pattern is typically the same every single day, warm with an afternoon thunderstorm. It seems like clockwork, though, that these storms just kind of flare up in the late hours of the day. And it begs you the question, why don't we see strong thunderstorms in the morning? And why do they usually bubble up around sunset? Well, the simple answer comes down to thunderstorms' behavior in the heat, but to really understand, I'll break down how we get them in the first place. Thunderstorms occur when disturbed air begins rising. Now, it takes a bit to rile up this air, and in the atmosphere, there are actually 3 steps to do that. The first one, another very important one, is moisture, and that's defined as a wet, saturated atmosphere. And you can't just have that at the surface, you have to have that from surface all the way up. And remember the dew point, that's something that we focus on in the summer, and when you have a dew point above, I'd say the 55-degree threshold, that's a big step to get towards thunderstorm development. And that's another reason why you see thunderstorms mainly in the summer, not really during the dry, cool months. But another reason that we're looking for thunderstorm formation is instability, and that's defined as warm, moist air mixing with cold air. And so you may wonder, where does that come from? And let's say the sun is baking down on the ground. It heats the ground much faster than it does, say, 1,000 feet up. So when you have that imbalance, especially during the afternoon hours, you get a lot of instability and things start to go pretty crazy. It starts to lift as well, and that's another thing that we have, lift. It's a nudge to get air up high, because instability, you can't just have instability to have a thunderstorm. Think of like a cold front. That is a very, very important lifting mechanism, and another reason why thunderstorms develop during the day. So with that in mind, it makes sense that thunderstorms occur in the warm season, but still, how come they really only happen in the afternoon? And that's because, I'll go into depth a little bit, this is called the diurnal range, and during the summer, it's defined as the change in temperature as you go throughout the day. So I have this graph right here. You can see by sunrise, we get to about the coolest part of the day, and then as we go into the afternoon to evening hours, that's when we get to the warmest part of the day. And the diurnal range, that's just defined as the daily variation of maximum and minimum temperatures. And in summer, this is what the graph would look like. But notice where this high peak is right here. That's at the mid-afternoon hours. And if you are keeping tabs with us, temperatures are peaking at the same time as we watch thunderstorms start to shoot off. And that's the hidden piece. Remember, in the summer months, ample lift and ample moisture can be achieved at any point during the day. But for instability, it's this diurnal range that matters so much. Remember, air near the ground heats up much quicker than air high up. And throughout the day, the lapse rate gets larger and larger as more heat gets to the ground. This is why most days with this pattern will feature calm, sunny mornings, but with the snap of a finger, suddenly turn steamy and stormy throughout much of the afternoon. Thanks so much for watching. I'm meteorologist Gavin Sandell.